Ryan and Christina here for episode 9, and we are lucky enough to have special guest Kylee Hines in the house.
No way, babe!
Knock that off. Today, because back to school is obviously, a day or two away for us here on the East Coast. We're in Virginia Beach. We decided to bring Kylee along. She is a senior at
Cox.
Now everybody knows where she goes to school, so you can find her. But she's a senior. She's going to give us a little bit of insight on what high schoolers are dealing with today, since it's a little bit different than when me and Ryan went to school. So welcome.
Thank you.
Don't be timid.
I won't.
Ryan bites. All right, Ryan, lead us into our reviews.
All right, so we got 2 reviews today. We're going to go off of Facebook. We got 2 5-star reviews. The first one we're going to read is from Bree Colasito. I hope I said that correctly.
Sounded close.
Yeah, hey, sounds good to me. Love, love, love these 2. Keep it so real and relatable. Thanks for being an inspiration not only in the mama community, Christina, but for relationships and marriages as well. Y'all are awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that was awesome. And this next one is from Tiffany Parton. And she says, love listening to you guys. It's literally like listening to my hubs and I get the best laughs and inspiration each time. Keep dominating voices. I like that. Keep dominating voices.
So they obviously banter really well together.
Yeah.
So last week we started a shout out page, which we're giving credit to Instagram or social media pages that we like and that we feel like other people would love and get something out of. This week we wanted to share with you Amandahedgepethobx. If you're not following her on Instagram, I highly suggest that you do. She's a mom of 3 beautiful little girls. She's a photographer, and she's just inspiring to women, both my age, younger, anybody that wants to pursue a career but also be a mom. She's always got really inspirational things to say, and she's an awesome gal. So
she takes great pictures.
She takes amazing pictures.
Yeah, go check her out on Instagram.
So we will link her below. So go say hello, give her a follow, and tell her we sent you. And apparently Ryan's going to let me do the sponsoring today because that's what I do.
I ate breakfast from our sponsor this morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
Which one?
I had the Applejack Cinnamon.
That's not what it's called, but we're going to let him go with it. It's apple cinnamon Cheerios.
Cinnamon Cheerios. Yeah.
He's just lucky I didn't buy the pumpkin spice ones. Kylee, do you eat Cheerios?
Yeah. Honey nut.
They're,
original.
Wait, are you guys the one that eats like the frosted Cheerios?
Yeah, that's Zoe.
Okay, that's what I thought. We went on vacation once and we had to buy 4 boxes of frosted Cheerios for these girls.
That's how it is.
Don't you be timid.
Yeah, it's so hard to be loud.
Yeah, be loud.
So, today we're talking about Cheerios. They are actually doing a campaign right now for back to school. You can check them out on Pinterest or all over social media. They're showing new recipes and fun ways to make snacks for your kids. So I'm going to link below, see all about the nutritional values and how you can make fun recipes with your kids.
How cool is it that we got a national sponsor?
That is really cool.
Yeah.
We're hitting it big time, babe. We haven't even gotten to 10 yet, and that's where we're at. Okay, so lead us into segment 1, Ryan.
All right, so segment 1, we wanted to dig into back to school. We want to talk about parenting and tie that all together and how we can bring a very cool guest in like Kylee, who has amazing knowledge.
Yes, she does.
And she's a good kid, and that's one of the reasons. So we think. So she fools us to think.
I promise I'm a good kid.
But that's one of the reasons we wanted to bring her in. She's got great insight into the high school. She has 5 other brothers and sisters, so there's 6 of them total. They range anywhere from, how old is Mia?
8.
Or what grade is she in?
She's in 4th.
Okay, so 4th grade all the way to a senior in high school.
No, because
Cody's 19.
So beyond high school. And 1 graduated. So when it comes to the school age, they've got it covered from elementary to high school. So she knows she's got brothers and sisters in middle school who try to get away with stuff. The high schoolers try to get away with stuff. And of course the youngest always trying to get away with stuff.
Yes, we love you, Mia, but it's true.
She knows all aspects, and she does a good job at staying out of the craziness, but staying focused and being an amazing person while still maintaining social media presence and grades. So we wanted to bring her in to kind of give an insight because I'm no longer in high school. I know I look young.
No, you don't. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no.
Thank you, Kylee.
Kylee, don't butter him up.
And that's
Don't
the reason why I like her. So we wanted to bring her in. We got some good questions. We want to get some good, honest feedback and insights. And maybe this might be able to help you guys on some insight into your kids and where they are and being able to relate to them a little bit more.
I will say that the reason that I think we chose Kylee is because I do think she is very honest, but she's real. She's not one of those kids that's trying to like fool anybody. Like if she wants to do something, she'll tell you, hey, this is how I'm doing it, and she kind of puts it all out there. So it gives a fun look at teenagers, but it also gives a very real life glimpse into it. So the way we're going to do this is...
Hold on, fun fact.
Oh, Jesus.
Did you know that Kylee was the first one to give us our youth slang challenge in episode 1? So if you were curious about who came up with that particular segment...
It's this chick right here.
It's her right here. She deserves all the credit. So, all right, Christina, go ahead and lead us into it.
Okay, so the way I want to do this is obviously, as a mom, right, we look at our kids and we think that we know how to approach them. So my first question to you would be, usually every day after school I ask my kids, and now granted my kids are in elementary school, but this will go into high school, is most parents always go, hey, how was your day? So instead of asking a basic question like, hey, how's your day? From a teenager's perspective, how can a parent engage more on a daily basis with their kid to get you to talk to us more? Because I feel like teens are really shut off and they don't want to say anything, or they give the, oh, I don't know, we didn't do anything today. What could a parent do to make their teen engage more with them?
I would say, I don't know, my mom always asks me how my day was too. I always say good, but meh.
So what would we need to say, or is it one of those things we just need to let you come to us to talk?
I think it depends on the situation. Sometimes it would be good for us to like come to you if we needed to, but then other times I guess just keep up with what they're doing. Like if they tell you they have a test that day, you can ask them like, how'd your test go? And like stuff like that. Like if they say that they had to like run the pacer, I hated doing that, but you just ask them like how things went, like if you pay attention to like what they're talking about, and then they'll go into detail about more stuff and talk more.
Do you find that if the parent, right, constantly asks you, that you almost feel like you shut down and you don't want to talk? Like, is it one of those less is more for the parent? Like, if we don't ask too much, would you give us more information?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's how I am. Like, I just talk a lot, but I guess every kid's different.
Well, I think that's the thing, is like most parents feel like they try to get stuff out of their kids, and their kid just automatically has a wall of like, oh, God, Mom, not today. Don't ask me that today.
If that's how it is, I think, I don't know, my opinion, just let them come to you. Like, sometimes they take time. They'll talk when they want to.
So then, I guess that would be my leading question, and this goes back to Ryan, because we're having that fun... See, we're in that fun stage of like, what should we talk to our kids about? Like, is it too soon? Is it too late? But when you say that we should let our kids come to us, right?
Right.
At what point is it that we're waiting too long and maybe you won't come to us? Like on big issues, like should we approach you about sex? Should we approach you about drugs and alcohol? Should we approach you about social media and bullying? Like as the parent, should we be the ones bringing those topics up, or wait for you?
I think that's yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys bring it to the kids. My parents, like, I grew up in a very open home where, like, we could talk about anything. My parents, they gave us the sex talk on my Magnadoodle. Like, it was terrible. But, like, it was good.
Jot that down. Grab a Magnadoodle, parents.
We knew what was happening, and we weren't clueless. And our parents, they told us about drugs and alcohol, and they told us about sex, and they told us what to expect when we were going to school, because we go to public schools, and sometimes, like, that it's hard. Like, kids, that's all they're wrapped in now. Like, so my parents, I was raised, like, in an open family. We talked about all of it, so, like, we knew what was happening. We knew what was good. We knew what was bad. So, yeah, I definitely think, I mean, they'll talk about it in school eventually. Like, they go through family life, and obviously they talk about cyberbullying and stuff, but I think it's a big deal when parents go to their kids about that stuff, because then their kids feel like, I mean, at first they're going to be like, ew, Mom, that's gross. Like,
exactly, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, but it's, like, they'll act like that, but I think from my perspective, like, I would thank my parents for keeping an open environment, because when you want to talk about something, it's not awkward.
Exactly. Go ahead, Ryan.
Let me ask you this. What age
I was going to get it.
start?
Oh, Shoot. I think I got the first one when I was like 7, but I didn't understand it. I had to have been like 7 or 8.
Okay, so with Ryan's question, that's where we're at now, is I want to grab my kid before he goes to school and somebody tells him about sex or tells him about drugs that isn't true. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I want to be the first line of defense and be like, no, let me tell you. So when you say that you didn't understand, like, did any of it sink in? Or did you just go, oh my God?
I mean, I understood, but I just thought it was like weird. I was like, what? Because I guess it was when my mom got pregnant with Mia, and I was old enough to think like, how did that happen? Yeah. So that just like, I mean, I kind of understood it, but it took a few sex talks on a Magnadoodle for me to actually like get it.
Good. So we just need to gross our kids out and freak them out a little bit.
For sure.
That is young to some. That might be perfect age for others. The cool thing that I think I know the answer to this question, but I want everybody else to hear it as well, is there's a lot of families out there that do not just have one sibling. So they'll have ones that are a little bit older, could be 10, 11, 12, then could have an 8, 7-year-old, then there could be a 4, 5-year-old. Do you sit all of them down in the same room and have that conversation, or is this an individual conversation?
Well, when I had it the first time, I was 7, but my brother was getting the sex talk. My older brother, he's 2 years older than me, so he was 9. So my dad was just like, whatever. If they don't understand, it's whatever. But, so, like, we were all in the same room. But if there's, like, a huge age gap, then, like, I guess talk to the older ones first. Because the younger ones, they're not going to get it. And they're going to go to school and say something.
Exactly.
My brother went to school the next day, and he was like, guess what I heard about last night? And he had sexual harassment on his record. Because he talked about it in school. Yeah.
Wow.
Way to go, Misha.
Wow. That's awesome.
You just gotta tell him it's like a secret until you get to middle school.
I love that.
Okay.
Until you get to family life, then you can talk about it.
Okay. That's the reason.
I don't even know how to transition into another question about that. Okay, Ryan, do you have one?
Yeah, let's go into actual first week of school.
Yes.
How do you transition as a kid getting used to a new school or going to new teachers or going from middle to high school or elementary to middle school, and how parenting wise do you also grow with them, with that child, to help them transition without being overbearing, kind of what Christina was talking about in the beginning?
I always think about Zoe, because wasn't last year Zoe's first year in high school?
Yeah, she was a freshman.
I always will replay that. I think until like my kids go to school, is how worried she was to go. Oh, yeah. But then, like, what did you tell? I mean, other than being the big sister and doing the funny stuff.
I told Zoe, so when Zoe was a freshman last year, going into it, I told her just to be nice to everybody. Because when you're nice to everybody and you don't gossip and you don't get consumed, and I mean, it's so easy to gossip, everyone does it, but I told her, like, I always exclude myself from it, because once you're nice to everyone and you don't gossip, nobody has anything bad to say about you. Everyone's always nice, and you make friends with everybody, and so that's what I told her to do. And
not be a pushover, though. Just not get involved, right?
What?
Like, don't get involved with the gossip, but don't be a pushover. Like, when sometimes people hear, go be nice to everybody, you're not saying...
Yeah, don't be the annoying nice person where everyone's like, dude, that
like,
girl. There's something wrong with her. She's too nice. But, like, I mean, yeah.
Oh, God, I love you so much.
So how do you, from a parenting perspective, and I know you're not a parent, but...
How would you tell your parents or parents?
Yeah, so like with your mom and dad, when that transition for Zoe happened in the first year, or you, how do they go about being involved without being too involved?
That's good. Sense? Yeah.
Ooh. I guess, I mean, my parents were never involved in like the parent SCA. I don't even know what that's called.
The PTA?
Sure. Okay.
Yep.
So they never really did that stuff, but if there was ever like in middle school and elementary school, like when we had parties, they would always sign up to bring stuff. They would come and like sit with me, So, like, my parents knew who they were, so it was nice, but they weren't, like, too involved in everything to where it was like I saw my parents at school every day and it was annoying.
Yes.
And I guess now in high school, my mom, I'm kind of a terrible student and I like to skip class a lot, but my mom knows about it, so she comes to pick me up.
That's honesty.
And
folks.
so while she's staying there, she'll talk to, like, the security guards and, like, the teachers that are around there, so they all kind of know who she is. And
So
they're nice
she's
to her.
making her presence known without being overbearing.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's actually
You know, I
good.
really want to actually get into this because you hit a subject that most people won't talk about, and that is if you have a day where you need to leave school, and there are two ways to go about it. There is blatantly leaving, like I used to do, and just
Is that why you smirked when you took the mic? Like, oh, she sounds like me.
well, the gym teacher used to catch me when I used to be walking out, and I just would wink at her, and she would just
This dude.
pretend like she didn't see me. So,
Yeah, I bet.
But then nobody knew, and then honestly, that's when I would get into trouble, and it's leaving and skipping school with friends that I probably shouldn't have been hanging around. But then I guess there's the other aspect of it is knowing if your child needs to leave, and you are the one picking her up or bringing her home. Well, then they're not hanging out with those people that are the bad influences and doing drugs during school or drinking or just getting into trouble, period. So I guess there's that fine line of, are you a parent who's like, no, don't skip school because your kid might skip school? I mean, we got a great kid sitting next to us and she's telling you, hey, sometimes I didn't want to be there. And skipping school, I would say
I skipped
80% of people at some time in high school probably skip school. So do you want to be the parent where you don't know your kid's skipping school? Or
That's
do
good.
you want to be the parent that you know what your kid is doing and are being the one to facilitate the right arena or the right situation while they're skipping school?
I guess that's a hard one though, because I just thought about this as you're saying. Like if Kylie was my daughter and she's like, because I think you do this with Michelle, she'll text and be like, hey, I want Chick-fil-A, I want to go to lunch.
All the time.
But see, I love that you have that relationship with your mom, because I'm like, in my mind, that's how I feel like it'd be with my kids. Like, Mom, I'm just kind of out of it today. Like, I just want a break. And I would be that mom that would be like, let me pick you up and let's go to lunch. And for that, I agree with Ryan. You're giving that environment for your teen to be like, hey, it's safe. Like, I feel like you have the ability to go to your mom and be like, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to be here today. Like, it's just not where I'm at. Rather than try to dip out of school and God forbid something happens to you and your mom doesn't know where you are. So I would love to get parents' feedback on that.
Go to the Instagram page over at the No Filter Show on Instagram or Facebook and let us know your thoughts on this. This is going to be a highly debated topic, and I can already see it. Because some people are going to be like, no, you're teaching them the wrong thing. They need to be in school. And look, I get it. I can have that same mentality sometimes too. But on the flip side, I was the kid doing the wrong stuff when I skipped school. So I'm looking at two different sides of the wheel here. You've got one who did everything wrong when I skipped. You've got another one who doesn't do that stuff and has not done that stuff through 4 years of high school up to date. And the mom is creating very aware, very involved, and creating the environment to have that conversation and make sure that it's okay. And she's doing fantastic. So I would like to know, give us some feedback. What kind of parent do you support that or do you not support that?
Okay, so now let's just end on that one and do a game break.
I think that's a good idea.
Do you want to do one of your ridiculous voices?
What's the game?
Trivia.
High school?
I don't know. Just make up.
It's time for
You're an idiot.
High School Trivia.
I almost felt like I was at a really bad football game.
You're really good at that.
No, it's not. Kylie,
thank you.
Kylie, knock it off.
Thank you, Kylie. I do appreciate that.
Look, I'm going to be like, why is Kylie here every week? Ryan's like, because she butters me up. That's
Hey,
exactly
I'm
what's
about to have a
happening.
new co-host.
Yeah. What happened? Okay, hold on. I got to find my... Okay, you got to break for a second because I don't know what just happened. Here it is.
All right, so be loud into the mic.
Gotcha. Okay, so on today's high school trivia, I'm giving you 10 questions that are, you would think, basic knowledge, but even as I was reading them, I was like, holy cow, maybe I don't know as much as I thought. Ryan,
So,
don't chime in.
Hold on. Are these questions directed to Kylie or to both of us?
Just for pure entertainment purposes, you both can answer.
All right, so I'm going to let her try to answer first, and she can phone a friend.
Phone a
and
friend.
I'll
yeah.
be that friend.
That's funny. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I know. Okay. I watched too many.
I'm nervous.
Don't do it. It's only at my expense if you
It's
make
like
a
taking
fool of
a
yourself.
test.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
On a standard traffic light, is the green light on the top or the bottom?
It's on the top.
Really?
Really?
Oh, hey. Do I get a chance to answer any of these at all?
No. Yeah.
Come on, if we're a team, definitely on the bottom,
What?
Kylie. Definitely red.
I knew yellow was in the middle. I hate driving.
Kylie, how many years have you been driving?
1.
Okay, bless your
All
heart.
right, yeah. All right.
Okay,
All right.
here we go.
Number 2.
How many states are there?
50.
Okay, good. Look, the first one I
Ding,
thought
ding,
was
ding, ding, ding.
too. Here we go. In which hand is the Statue of Liberty's torch? The right or the left?
The left.
Yeah, you're right, actually. No, you're not. It's the right.
Man.
Yeah, it's the right.
Did you write the answer
No,
down?
no, it's right.
Or are you guessing?
No, it's the
No, I
right.
thought it was.
Google a picture.
Okay.
Look
We're,
now.
we're good. Keep going.
No, I know,
I'll
but-
take your word on it.
Okay,
Whatever.
here we go. When you walk, I can't even say this out loud. When you walk, does your left arm swing with your right or your left leg?
Left arm swings with the right leg. Right?
I don't know. Ryan wants to get a shot at this. Do you want?
I want to walk.
Okay. Oh my God. So this is on video now.
I did something like this freshman year, and I think it was different for a bunch.
Your left arm swings with your left leg.
Okay. Ryan's right. Yes, your left leg and your
All
left
right.
arm swing together.
Give it up. Jill.
Okay. I'm curious to see what your answer can be for this one. Okay. On our flag, the American flag, is the top stripe red or white?
Do you want to phone a friend?
The top one is red.
Is that your final answer?
I'll trust her.
I think it is because there's 7 red ones and 6 white ones, so it has to go red, white, red.
You're right. It's right.
Yeah.
But the fact that you just broke that down makes me.
I love
Hey,
America.
that's-
I sang the song in my head. 50 stars and 13 stripes, 7 are red and...
Next question. Whose face is on the dime?
I think I know what it is.
Go ahead.
I think you probably know better.
Go ahead. Well, Lincoln is on the nickel.
I thought...
First off, I failed out of college because I didn't know history.
Wait, I thought Lincoln was on the penny.
He's on both.
No.
Really?
Is he?
I think so.
Hey, how dumb do we sound right
He's
now?
on the $5 bill.
That's not a nickel.
I know.
wanna
I'm gonna say
he has like a little cute, round, small head.
Because he's on a small coin.
His name is Thomas.
Thomas Jefferson.
No, it's
Even
not
though
Jefferson.
that's not the president. So let's do. let's do.
Pick.
I don't know.
Roosevelt.
Teddy.
Teddy.
All right.
Good guy.
Here we love it. Love
Great
Teddy.
guy.
Good old Teddy.
Good old Ted. All right, here we go. Sleepy, happy, sneezy, grumpy, dopey, dock, and
What? No, I can't do princess. What? How many are there? 7.
yes. Sleepy,
Sleepy.
Grumpy.
happy, sleepy, happy, sneezy, grumpy, dopey, dock, and 3, 2, 1.
Super happy.
You're an idiot.
What is it?
Bashful.
Oh,
Whack.
he has the worst name.
Yeah.
That doesn't go. All of them end in like a Y.
Umpy. Yeah.
In an umpy. Wow. How many hot dog buns are in a standard package? You got this?
12.
Okay. That's wrong.
Is it 8?
That's also wrong.
Dang it.
It's 6. Because they screw you because there's 8 hot dogs in a
Half
pack.
dozen.
But isn't that crazy? There's 8 hot dogs, but there's only 6 buns. So
Damn
they
the
get
man.
you. I know, they're trying to make us spend more.
I feel like for our families though, we always have to get like the huge.
You get the multi-pack,
family
yeah.
size.
Your answer should be like 45.
We
yeah.
we Costco shopped that one.
Yeah.
You have that many. Okay. Last 2. How many curves are in a standard paperclip? First off, watch the
4.
video. Watch the video of Ryan just trying to draw a
Hey,
paperclip.
4.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Is it 3?
1, 2, 3.
And the little one inside.
Oh, I got gypped.
Yeah, you did. All right, last one. Dun dun dun. Does a merry-go-round turn clockwise or counterclockwise?
Counterclockwise.
Is that your final answer?
I think so, because I...
Yes.
Is it right?
That
Yes,
is
you're
correct.
I learned it in math
Yes.
class.
You learned something in school, Kylie.
I love math.
And that is how you play high school trivia, folks. Don't do it.
Thank you
Oh, Jesus.
for joining our high school trivia.
Do you feel like you're in like a really bad game? Like a high school football game where the announcer, you're like, oh, it's him again.
You should do that.
Yeah.
Kylie, don't.
Our
promote.
announcer isn't good.
No, and neither is
Go
he.
for the touchdown.
Okay, we're done. We're down. We're done.
Cox
We're
High
good.
School. I'm just kidding.
Focus.
All right, segment 2. All right, so I think we need to jump into bullying and social media.
Let's do it.
Go ahead, take it away.
Okay, so obviously, I'm a 32-year-old who deals with social media drama, feeling like
I thought you were 27.
Look at you. Wow, there's a lot of butter
I
in.
thought 26.
You can stay. You can come here every week. I deal with the social media drama. I deal with always feeling like I have to impress and be just like the next person. But I can't imagine what it's like to be in high school and to constantly feel like you have to be on display. So, my question for you is, does social media play a large part in anxiety or peer pressure?
For sure. I mean, you see, like, kids, they'll post pictures from prom week, like, ring dance, like, it's all it is. They just post everything everywhere. I mean, it's not good, but...
Do you feel, okay, so for instance, like, in the blog world, right?
Right.
I have to deal with the fact that if my house isn't super white, or if I don't have the best lighting, or I'm not wearing the latest trending clothes, like I can't keep up. Do you feel like if you're not going to the same places, or you don't have the same clothes as these girls, or you're not, going to this party every weekend because everybody else is, do you feel that same level of, what would be the word I'm looking for, Ryan? Like the same, I guess fitting in, just at a different level.
Do you feel like that there's the keeping up with the Joneses basically for high school and that portrayal on social media? And how do you either deflect it or how do you regulate it?
So that you're not getting caught up in it.
I think... Ooh, that's a good question.
We try.
I'm just the kind of person, I just don't care. But I know that a lot of people, like, that's just how it is in high school, and you're definitely trying to keep up with, like, the most popular girl in school, and you're trying to, like, everyone's getting the checkered Vans, so you have to get the checkered Vans too. And people are making their Instagram pictures a little bit more grainy, so they're not perfect. Like, that's how it is right now.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Oh my god.
And, like, that's just how it is. And people are, like, their captions, their sentences are not spelled right, and that's how it is. And
you guys do talk in this, like, really weird lingo.
Yeah.
That I don't quite understand.
Like, we just leave out half the letters, but that's how it is. Like, you definitely feel like you have to keep up. I think one of the biggest things, though, I don't know, when you guys said social media and, like, bullying and stuff like that, one of the biggest things I feel like for girls and stuff is when like one of your friends posts a picture of like her and 2 other girls and you weren't invited to do what they were doing, that's what gets people going crazy.
That's so sad because I've actually at 30 years old have had to deal with the same thing. So I can't imagine in high school feeling that because that's when you're trying to figure out where you fit in.
Let me ask you this. What do you tell... This is a 2-part question. I'm going to ask you each part separately. What would you tell the girl that is feeling that...
Left out.
What would you say to them, that high school girl?
I always say, because me and my sister, we talk about it all the time, and we always say, like, at the end of the day, like, when we graduate, you don't talk to anybody afterwards. Like, nothing matters. When you go to... I just had a bunch of friends that went to college, and they were talking so much about how your clothes don't matter because everyone just wears sweatshirts to class. Like, first day of school, everyone's wearing cropped leggings. Like, nothing matters anymore. And so I always tell, like, me and Zoe, we're always like, oh, it just doesn't matter. Like, it's not going to matter after we leave here, so why would we bug about it now and, like, create all this drama and stuff.
The fact you just said bug about it.
I know. I
Is
had
that
a feeling you were
lingo?
going to say that.
All right, here's part 2 of that question. What would you tell the parent who is trying to make their daughter or son feel better or do for them to be able to snap out of that and not start getting in a depressive state because they were not that person who was invited?
I would say don't bash them for what they want to do. Like, a lot of times my dad, he does this, but he does it in a joking way, and I'm not the kind of person that would get mad over it. But he'll be like, seriously, you got your cartilage pierced? That looks so stupid. But like, don't be like that, because some people are the type of kids, they take it personally.
Yeah.
Like, my dad, his personality, I just can't, because that's just how he is. But when people are like that, that's just, when the kids say that they want to go buy that new shirt, but you think it looks weird, like, don't say anything about it, because then they're going to feel bad.
That's actually really good, and I will take that.
So what you're saying is that
Let them be expressive.
let their opinions matter and let them be expressive, just like you said. And even if our opinions differ, then to let them have their moment and realize that maybe what we think is silly, they need to realize is silly on their own.
Or maybe we just need to accept their silliness, which I think a lot of parents, we try to dictate. I mean, I'm at fault for doing it. Like, we try to dictate what our kids should wear, should do, should look like. Like, even at 9 years old, Noah wants to wear gym clothes every day and drives me nuts.
Yep.
I'm like, God, go put on some clothes. I'm like, why? He's not comfortable in that.
Hey, what's funny, according to Kylee, and which is absolutely
Is when he
true,
goes to college, he'll fit
it'll
in.
be completely okay when he gets to college for wearing those same clothes. So, hey, look, maybe he's just ahead of the curve.
I know, God, I need to get ahead of it.
Yeah, maybe he's just setting that trend, which that's fine.
Gotta love it. But I guess, too, you know, looking back at what you said, it truly is just 4 years. It's a blink of an eye when you're in high school. And it's really hard when you're in it to realize that. I think the fact that you know that already is, good Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, you've found, what would be the word? Like, the diamond in the rough. Like, most kids cannot see past where they are right there. Like, those 4 walls of high school, they cannot see past it. So I think it's genius that you have that ability. I don't know.
All right, I want to ask you this,
You got a really serious tone.
because it's a serious subject. How do you stay out of the drug alcohol scene?
Good question.
Yes, it is.
Okay. For me, I feel like I'm so much different from everybody else who goes to my school, because
that's okay.
I'm one of the only kids who can manage to, like, stay out of it and be fine with it.
But just think, what you could be saying, a parent could tell this to a kid who might feel like they have to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm glad you have that point of view. So go ahead.
I think for me, I grew up in an amazing family. We're really close, and so, like, at the end of the day, I know that I have them, and I grew up in church my entire life, and right now I have an amazing youth group that I help lead with my brother and stuff, and that group of kids that we have in there, I know at the end of the day, when it comes to being cool and stuff, and if I'm not drinking at that one party, I'll lose 5 friends, but at the end of the day, I know that I'll have that core group of friends that are never gonna, like, leave me and stuff.
That's awesome.
And I also think my parents, they let me go to parties. If I want to go to a party, they'll be like, oh, where is it? Send me the address. Like, I always have to send them the address so they know where I am if something bad happens, or tell them whose party it is, and I always drive. So even if I felt like I wanted to drink or do something, that I wouldn't, because I was driving me home, I was driving my sister home, I was driving one of my best friends home, and it's like a bigger deal when my sister goes to a party with me. It's a bigger deal driving her home than just myself,
That's
because
good.
I care about her more. But I don't know, I feel like even at the parties, like all my friends, they'll buy me boxes of Capri Suns to drink at the parties.
awesome.
And they think it's so funny. They think it's so funny, and I laugh at myself, like, with them. So it's not,
So
I
you're
don't
not
know, it
being
just
laughed
doesn't
at.
get to me.
They actually are respecting it.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you this. What you just said something that made me relate back to when I first got sober, and it is making everybody aware that's around you know that you do not drink. And so for me, it was your Capri Sun was my flavored soda water. So if you ever notice, I always drink that just because at the moment I want to have a drink, that's my drink, and it takes my mind off of alcohol. But when it comes to kids who might not be in a position where they have fully made other people aware that they do not drink or do not want to drink, what would you tell that kid on what they should maybe do or say to others when being influenced to try to drink or do any type of other drugs?
So are you saying like a kid that used to drink that doesn't want to drink anymore, or you're saying a kid that doesn't drink, how would they go about being in the party scene?
No, what I'm saying is, let's say the freshman is going to these parties.
Okay.
And let's say that sophomore, junior is giving them alcohol or offering them alcohol, and you've got a kid who doesn't really know his way, doesn't come out of his shell, doesn't really know who he is, and right at that moment there's a decision to be defined in his character of how he's going to go about high school. And it's either I'm going to try to adapt and fit in and do and be peer pressured by others, or I'm going to say, no, I'm good, that's not how I am, I like my group of friends, that's not what we do. What would you say to them about what they should say or do in maybe a moment of them being scared or nervous about what others think, but yet making that statement of, I'm good, I don't need that?
I would say, I always told my sister, she's younger, but like we do everything together, so we talk about everything. I always tell her and all of her friends, I always say to tell people, like, if they're trying to get you to drink or something and you don't want to, but you don't know how to say it, I always just tell them to say that you're driving. Even if you're a freshman and you don't have your license, just say you're driving. Nobody's going to pay attention to it. They're just going to be like, oh, okay.
And I think, too, a way to go about it is, like, say they keep pushing it, be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think, too, that's where it comes in to have, like, sarcastic banter. Like, if you are a playful person, you can play that off.
Yeah, for sure.
So easy. And people don't take it offensive that, like, oh, you're drinking. Because, some kids, like, there's those teenage kids, I want to be like, God, why did you say it like that? If you almost sound like you're coming at the person like you're, looking down on them that they're drinking, that's how you get a stigma in high school that, oh, this kid. Whereas if you're just like, no, I'm driving. And like, oh, but come on, when you're like, no, really, I'm good. Like, you don't have to stand there and keep partaking in it. Just walk away. You already made your point.
Yeah, if you say that you're driving and you're not going to drink, because if you're drinking and driving, that's not a good thing. But, like, if you just say, like, you're driving or something and you just say, like, no, I can't. Like, I always tell kids, I'm like, I'm either driving or I have church in the morning. Like, I have to get up early. I'm not going to drink and, like, be hungover. It's not my thing. But I always, like, if you just say, like, I'm not drinking tonight, they'll leave you alone. And nobody's going to, like, judge you for it. Like, they're going to just be like, oh, she's driving tonight. Like, she can't. Like, she's designated driver.
Plus, too, if you leave it at I'm driving and walk away, then if the person has a hard time with it, well, that's your problem. You're trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's not on you anymore. So, go ahead, Ryan.
Okay, now let's flip the script. I like that. That's that use slang, too. And
Nice.
what I want to do is, let's say the kid has been influenced. Let's say that he's gone the other direction and he is starting to get involved with the drinking and the drugs. How are kids hiding information from their parents?
That's good.
And what I mean by that is everybody's got a cell phone at your age, right?
Right.
Obviously, I'm not talking about hiding information when they're person to person in school, because that's just a conversation.
Right.
Beyond outside of school is really where that communication takes place of doing drugs or drinking or getting the people lined up to get into those particular scenarios. How is that information coming across? Because there's a lot of parental locks on phones. There's a lot of ways to interpret messages. How are kids hiding that information from their parents?
I feel like
You just put Kylie as like a high school narc.
I know, it's okay, I don't care. But I feel like sometimes I don't even know what they're doing. I know like when they go out, I don't know, I feel like when they go out, there's a lot of like apps that like track where you are and like how fast you're going in your car and stuff and like where you are, how long you've been there and stuff. And a lot of my friends actually, their parents have set up those apps for them. My parents didn't do it because I never want to leave the house, but they do a lot of that. I guess just like you can like send your location now. So if you say you're going to this person's house for a sleepover, make them like send you your location, I guess, because they can go over to somebody's house for a sleepover, leave, go to a party, come back, sleep over at that person's house, so they'll never know that you did anything. Like there's a lot of that that happens.
Would you agree that teens are using code texting, like, to hide things?
I guess, yeah, they could. I don't, because I don't know how.
What are some words?
But she just said she doesn't use it.
But she might know. What are some words that kids are using that a parent might not know that could pertain to drugs?
Oh, God. I have no idea.
Yeah, see?
I have no idea.
Good for you, Kylee Hines. Well, so the reason we're asking is because that was actually a podcast we were going to do is like for parents to check this out. Like, I think it comes back to parents need to be, like, they need to have heightened sentences. You're not always going to detect everything by just looking at your kid. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, kids are not stupid. So Google it. Figure out, like, what these kids are texting. You're not crazy for asking your teenage child to look at their phone.
What are a couple, I know you know some words because actually you and I had a conversation about this. What are some words kids are using to describe being high? I mean, we know that for kids using cocaine, it was getting geeked, remember?
Yep.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That word actually stems back from my day. But what are words that kids are using right now to describe that a parent could hear that and be like, oh, what? Okay, I just heard that on Ryan and Christina's podcast. What are you doing? Like, what are some words?
Trigger words.
Yeah, what are some trigger words?
I don't know. I feel like some of them they probably don't use anymore, but I guess they could. Faded, that's
What's
a good
that?
one. It's just like, I don't know, I guess getting high.
When you're high, you're
Yeah.
faded.
Oh, okay. So you're not like all there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Some kids use like weird words like sloshed, like when they're like
Drunk?
so drunk. Yeah.
I still use that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to
She's
think.
not
like,
in the
I
know of
actually
it. She's
don't.
not around
no,
these
no,
kids.
no, I know, I got it. Okay.
I got it.
So,
My.
So, Kylie, we are on Final Thoughts. You've been a great guest.
Thanks.
I want you to know that. So,
That's because you buttered him up. No, you really have been great. Thank you.
Christina, give us some final thoughts, and let's wrap this segment up.
Okay, so obviously from my final thoughts as a parent would be find a way to talk to your kid that makes them feel comfortable. Like, don't always come at them with all the information. Like Kylie said, sometimes let them come to you and be okay. Just like last week, how we talked about there's beauty in waiting. It's the same as a parent. Like, being okay with waiting for your kid to come to you can lead to amazing results where your kid feels safe enough to talk to you. And I think that's one of the best points that Kylie gave through this podcast. But I guess my final question to Kylie to wrap this up would be, now that you're a senior, looking back to when you were a freshman and remembering the first day you were going into school or that week leading up to it where you're kind of super nervous and it's a whole new experience. Now that you're a senior, what is one or two tidbits of advice that you would give to your freshman self or any freshman that is about to start school this week?
I would say, like I said earlier, be nice to everybody, because when I was a freshman, I went in and I knew that all the boys were going to be annoying, and I knew that I was a freshman and that grade's always annoying. So I just kind of acted like I was like, I don't know, I was really like stuck up and I didn't want to talk to anybody, and I just didn't really have fun freshman year until I like found like one of my best friends. But I would just say be nice to everybody, because that's how you make friends, that's how teachers like you. I just be nice.
That's
It
good.
gets you places.
If you could give the parents of high schoolers one piece of advice as they go through these 4 years, what would it be?
No pressure. that you're about to give parents advice.
Coming from a teen's perspective.
I would say just don't be too strict. Like, I know there's parents and there's so many different parenting styles and, like, things work for different parents. I would say don't be too strict. Like, my parents, they let me go to parties. Trust your kid unless you can't. But just like trust them. If they lose your trust, that's their fault, and they're going to feel terrible for it because that's happened to me before, but I don't know. We got past it, but, like, trust your kid. Don't be too strict. And I was going to say something else, but I forgot.
But I think that's a great one is, I think too, with that, it goes back to what Ryan says, clearly there's going to be a debate on it because some parents can be like, well, once you give them an inch, they take a mile. But if you're there giving them the inch, right, and you're walking alongside them, like, they have that comfort level with you where you can go to your parent and say, like, I think I was around once and your parents were like, hey, this party you're going to, is there alcohol? And you're like, yeah. Like, how hard is it just to say yes? Like, your parents haven't been to a party before. Clearly we know there's alcohol. We're waiting for you to step up to the plate.
Yeah, and they said it, and they said, okay.
Yeah, okay. Just let us know where you're going to be. I was like, what?
Yeah, I was blown away. I was like, this is about to go down. And they're like, okay, cool. You know, don't drink, be home, let us know. Be home by this time. Text us when you get there and when you're leaving. And I was like, wow. And I'm looking at a family and a child who it's not just Kylee in that family who is a good kid who has her entire family, brother through sister, all the way up and down, is a good kid and are all that have values the exact same way and do the same thing. So it's not just a rare find of her in that family that's doing well. It's every single one of those children are doing well. So it goes back to that parenting style of, holy cow, that's probably the best way to be a parent, is to just be trusting and to trust your child.
I mean, I think that the child obviously has to earn your trust, and it has to be a mutual relationship, but I think by them asking, is there going to be alcohol there, it's allowing you a space to not have to hide it. And then that way you can enjoy yourself. Like, I'm going to go to this party. My parents already know there's alcohol here. I could just be me. I can have fun. And then you go home, and it is what it is.
Guess what happens when you come home?
Everybody's happy.
Well, and you're not drunk or smell like alcohol.
Yeah.
You just built trust in your child.
Yeah.
Because they were somewhere where they know there's alcohol because you told them and you were upfront. And you just came home from that place that they knew had alcohol at it, not smelling like alcohol and not drunk. You now have just built a trust card in there for them to keep trusting you more and more and more. And
now it's with every topic that your kid feels safe. So I think that's great.
I remembered what I was going to say.
Tell me.
Okay, my last thing to the parents. If you have more than one kid, every kid is different, and they all need to be, like, raised differently. Like, me and my sister, we differ so much. So, like, my parents trying to raise her, like, I just don't.
Zoe's more like me.
Yeah, Zoe, for sure. Like, so my parents trying to raise Zoe the same way that they would raise me, it just doesn't,
work.
It just doesn't work. So, like, I think that parents need to understand, like, some parenting styles are going to be different for every kid that they have. Not everyone's going to be the same.
That, honestly,
that summed it up. That was solid.
That's solid.
Thanks.
High five. Hey, before we go, Kylee, tell everybody where they can find you on Instagram or your Snapchat, so that way, in case they want to check
So if they want to see a
they
picture
can.
of your eyeball looking up at the ceiling?
Yeah. That's classic Snapchat.
That's Snapchat these days.
My Instagram is at Kylee_Hines.
Kylee.
Great job.
Yep. You're welcome.
And then where can they find you on Snapchat?
Snapchat, it's Kylee.Hines, Kylee. I'm a fantastic Snapchatter.
And she's an amazing tweeter, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I do have Twitter.
She actually crushes it.
Yeah, I do.
Kylee crushes it on Twitter. Kylee, what's your Twitter handle?
I think it's Kylee Hines 00, because all the other Kylee Hineses were taken.
How many Kylee Hines are there?
There's a lot.
I don't know.
There's only one of you.
All right, Kylee, take us out.
Oh, shoot. Bye, guys. We'll see you next episode, episode 10. Thank you for joining us today to hear about teenage thoughts with Ryan and Christina Boyce. We love you.
Peace out, y'all.
Hey, you too. Let us know how Kylee did. Did she crush it or what?
Comment below.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.